My dreams are nightmares. How can I sleep? You got the gun against me.
What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Mattel WWE Battle Pack, Zelena Vega and Andrade. And so here we have Zelena Vega and Andrade posed and out of the packaging. Before we have a look at the figures, let's actually take a look at what they come with. This battle pack does come with two accessories. We do get a mask for Andrade, and we also do get a microphone that either one of these characters can hold. So I am glad that they are throwing accessories back in battle packs. With that out of the way, let's actually take a look at each figure. We'll first be having a look at Andrade, and my goodness, this is a really good face sculpt now. Mattel is getting much better with their face printing technology. It's coming a really long way. I do have one little issue with this figure, and that's just that the sides of his head are a little bit too dark. The way Andrade's hair is, he pretty much has the sides completely shaven and then the top is long. So this should actually be either flesh colored or really, really faded. But overall, it's not too bad. Really loving this face sculpt. This is a really good face sculpt for Andrade. I do have a tiny little issue right here on his nose, but other than that, really, really good job, Mattel. Have to give him props on the face sculpt. Now, he is a basic figure, so he really doesn't have too much articulation here, as you can see. I think the face is what sells this figure for me. You can see he doesn't have any wrist tape on either arm, which is a little bit unfortunate and kind of strange in my opinion. I think wrestlers need to have something on their wrist, because a bare arm looks kind of strange to me. But he is wearing just really blue tights. There's no detail on his tights whatsoever until you get to his knees, where we do have the fists. And those are done really well. I love the paint app right here. It's really clean. It's crisp. Gotta give Mattel credit for making such a crisp tempo on wrinkles. That's a really hard detail to do. Moving on to his shoes, you can see he is wearing white kick pads, and it's so white it's even losing focus on my camera. So we do have some white kick pads, really nice little detail right there. Unfortunately, there's really not much to say about Andrade. I think the best thing about this figure is the face sculpt. Now, if he had a little more articulation, I'd love this figure even more, but that's another video for another time. So what we're going to do now is actually move on to Zelena Vega. And so here we have a look at Zelena Vega, and just like with Andrade, really loving this head sculpt. It's a really good likeness to Zelena Vega. I'm not too fond of the expression that she has going on, but the face printing technology doesn't allow us to see that it is Zelena Vega. And again, much rather prefer the face print over the paint. Gosh, it's really hard to believe that we used to paint faces on figures. Can you believe that? But either way, really gorgeous looking head sculpt, and really love her hair. You can see the front of her hair does tail off to the back, so this strand right here is actually part of the front of her hair. The side of her hair does come down to the front, and we do have the back of her head, which is done really nicely. So really beautiful hair. Now, one thing I do want to point out is that it does sit pretty flush to her body, and that will hinder articulation just a little bit. Overall, really, really good detail on the face. Having a look at her attire, you can see she is wearing a maroon top with some gold trimming going around it. If we have a look at the back, you can see Mattel didn't quite sculpt her attire. They just painted everything on. It's better than nothing. I would have liked to see some sculpted detail, especially right up here. You can see they did her tattoo really well. Do like that. Again, we get no detail right here in her arm. No wristbands, no elbow pads, no tattoos, no nothing. So that is a little bit unfortunate. She does have a pair of maroon tights. As you can see, it continues that gold motif. And we do have a little spot right here that should be flesh colored, but you can see they at least try to make that match. I guess you can kind of say that it's supposed to be mesh, so it does darken the skin a little bit, and that's what I'm going to be going with. We get to the thighs, and my goodness, really, really bad. I hate those thighs. Now, again, I'm just going to chalk that up to she's wearing pantyhose underneath her trunks, and that's what's causing it to be darker. But you can see a huge color difference from the painted flesh tone to molded flesh tone. Really wish that Mattel would have rethought that, and this is kind of why I wish we had the original joints on females. But you can see the gold trim on her knee pads is done pretty good. It's clean for the most part. I don't have too many issues with it. Maybe on this side where it's a little bit thin at the top. Yeah, it's very thin at the top as you go around. This leg, it's not as bad. This one, that one's bad. We do have some maroon knee pads right there. And we go on to her kick pads where they're also maroon with black soles on them. So really do like that Mattel did add soles to her, but Andrade got nothing pretty much. So overall, that's Zelena Vega and Andrade's details. So what we're going to do now is compare them to other figures you may have in your collection. Here we have Zelena Vega and Andrade posed next to an Elite AJ Styles and a basic Jeff Hardy. And finally, here we have Zelena Vega and Andrade posed next to an Elite Carmella and a basic Dana Brooke. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's actually have a look at their articulation. We'll have a look at Andrade's articulation first, moving Zelena Vega off to the side. Andrade does have a slight ball joint. He can look up to about that far, can look down. We get some slight head pivots, so that's pretty good. His head does turn to about there. It would do a full 360, but his beard is sculpted in a way that it hits his trap, so you don't get a full 360. Arms go out to the side to about that far. Go all the way around. We have a single bend in the elbow, as well as rotation. A swivel and hinge combination here at the wrist. No abdomen joint, which is unfortunate, but we do have waist swivel. Legs do go forward only to about that far. Go back further than they go forward. No outward movement, though no thigh swivel. We do have a single bend at the knee, rotation at the boot, and that's all for Andrade. Now, moving him off to the side so we can have a look at Zelena Vega. Again, we do have a really nice ball joint on Zelena Vega. You can see it does work really well despite having long hair. Head tilt is there, but you only go one direction because her hair does hinder articulation going one way. Same thing with the head swivel. It is there, but the hair does hinder it. Arms go out to the side. No problem. Do a full 360. We have a single bend at her elbow as well as rotation, so that works. Just a basic swivel at her wrist, swivel at her waist. No abdomen articulation, but she can kick forward to about there. Does kick back about that far. We get some outward movement, which works no problem. Single bend in the knee. A little bit hindered by her knee pad, but it does work. Rotation at the boot, and nothing in the ankle, so that's a little bit unfortunate. So that's Zelena and Andrade's articulation. So what we're going to do now is get them posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have Zelena Vega and Andrade posed for my final thoughts. Overall, I really do like the way this set came out. Now, I'm not much of a fan for basic male figures. I don't know what it is, the new articulation scheme on them, even though it's not technically new, I just can't stand it. I think a bicep swivel works better than the swivel elbow, but that's just my opinion. Zelena Vega here is the star of the set, seeing as how this is the first time we are seeing her in the WWE line. I think having an Elite Zelena Vega would have been nice, but this is a pretty good stand-in until we get around to getting one. Zelena Vega is probably the main reason you're going to pick this set up, but don't sleep on the Andrade figure either, because I really do like the way his head sculpt came out. And if you have a basic Andrade that has the old painted head, you might want to end up swapping heads with this one. Now, I might show a video of me doing that just because this head is much better, but that's for another time. As far as this set goes, I really do recommend it, especially if you're trying to complete your active Raw roster. Zelena Vega and Andrade are pretty important right now, seeing as how Andrade is a US champion. If you can find this set, I really do recommend you pick it up. And if you find it at Walmart, it will cost you $15, which that's actually pretty good, seeing as how a basic figure is $10, and you're paying $15 for two, so that's a really good bargain. With that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go check out all my other action figure reviews as well as all my other WWE videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it fits in my collection, I'll definitely have a look at it. While you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos. And as always, ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.